Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for laboring on this oversight. Not just this particular issue, which is tough to look at as a taxpayer, as a citizen, as a representative. It reminds me of early morning walk into the feed room in my barn and turning the lights on after dark and hearing the sounds of scurrying things going for the corners because the light is being turned on. And Mr. Fink, I'm not so concerned about how you feel about it now, or even back how you felt about it back then. I can't confirm one way or another. I certainly understand the embarrassment that you must feel about this all taking place now. I appreciate the apology, but it's after the fact, and I'm certain that probably the biggest reason for the concern now is because it's all come to light. Let me ask you a question. You've made apologies. You've said that there are measures being taken, that this isn't going to happen again, that this isn't happening now. What type of confidence do you have that that is true, that measures are in place to make sure that this does not happen again, that there are webinars, that there are things that we do in light of the fact of what taxpayers are going through right now, that this has changed?
The confidence I have is based upon, if you take a look at how significantly all the costs have dropped based upon what the Inspector General has reported. That gives me tremendous confidence. I will tell you also I have confidence in the fact of looking at the changes that have been put into place, the guidance that is there. And the other reason that I also have tremendous confidence is because the acting commissioner has come in and he has clearly spelled out what his expectations are. And when this came to his attention, he clearly spelled out that, he was appalled at this, that he looked at the expenses, that he saw the videos, and that it troubled him. So that gives me tremendous confidence that it would never happen again on his watch.
Well, we're looking forward to hearing that from him. But in the culture, and again, I would agree with the Chairman that probably the overwhelming majority of Federal employees are doing the job that they've been asked to do, they've been given to do, and are doing it to the best of their ability. But here is a culture, there were numerous people involved with the videos and everything else, the planning, the cost, understanding it, and yet the culture said, who cares? We can do this because we can do this because we can. And it happened. And when I sit in a situation where this week, in fact, a 59-year-old lady, single parent, calls and says, I've been told by my home health care provider employer, she was a home health care worker, that she's being cut back to 28 hours because of Obamacare. And the IRS is responsible with administering major portions of Obamacare. And we see the culture that allowed this type of thing to go on without respect for that 59-year-old tax-paying mother, single parent, who is now concerned about losing her home because she doesn't have the hours that she needs, that she had before this implementation. And we hear what goes on in this culture. I'm greatly concerned. Let me go, Mr. George, I think I heard you say that you received notification of this problem from a whistleblower, was it?
I use that term generically. It was an IRS employee who did alert us to the fact of excessive spending at this conference.
So there was one person that was willing at least to step up to the plate to say, we think there's a problem.
That is correct.
Well, Mr. Fink, I hope that the culture in the IRS, even if it's just because you got caught, is changing to say that this will not continue on, even after the light of day has been turned off to some degree on it. I have in my hands a copy of a letter that was written to Secretary Lew by Senator Coburn, ultimately responding from a letter he had sent back in April of 2012 to then Secretary Tim Geithner, asking for a full listing of all conferences attended by Department employees during fiscal years 2010, 2011, 2012, attended by, as the letter says, 50 or more Treasury staff. And on that list there were only 5 conferences with a total cost under $500,000. Subsequent to that, this has all come out with costs, including the largest component of Treasury, which is the IRS, of $50 million on hundreds of conferences over those 3 years. So the request is being made to say, why weren't we given the information? So I would ask Mr. George or Mr. Coots, why did that take place then? Has the culture changed now so that even from Treasury, we will get accurate information to Congress, and we won't feel we've been given inaccurate information, incomplete information, in fact, concerning a concern about having even truthful information?
Gentleman's time has expired. You may answer, please.
The environment has changed entirely, Mr. Walberg. There's no question about that. And so that was not top priority for the administration in the wake of the GSA revelations. And then, of course, with this report, it is obvious that this is a major issue, and it's something that the administration, to its credit, has taken steps to address. But there's something very important, sir, I need to note. As Mr. Fink pointed out, and as we have in both our audit report and during this testimony, new policies have been put in place. The key is to ensure that the policies are being followed. So they're there, but if they're not being implemented and oversighted in terms of what my office does, but more importantly, what managers within the Internal Revenue Service do, it could be for naught.
Absolutely.
Thank
and
you.
Mr. Chairman, I thank you for that, but I think it was notable what he said there, that in the past it didn't seem that important. To the Treasury Secretary and others who were responsible for this, that has to change.
Well, and with our help, I hope it will.
Thank you.
We now go to